Welcome back to the Junior Moneymakers Podcast, the show that's all about helping you teach your kids how to become young entrepreneurs. Well, welcome back to the show, everybody, and happy belated Easter. This Wednesday, I'm going to be back with episode 6 in the Starting Your Business series, but today I wanted to talk to you about something else, something that hits a little bit closer to home for my family and I. Today, I want to share a little bit about where we're headed over the next year and find out if you're interested in following our story. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, for those of you not following along, I have a family of 6 and we live all the way over in Germany. During the day, I run a leadership academy and we have several businesses that we run at night and on the weekends. From the podcast to the photography business and even a martial arts business that we run. In the past, we've sold things like Mini Coopers on eBay, and we traveled all over Europe collecting and selling antique furniture. You name it, and we've probably made money trying to do it. But very soon, our life is about to change very dramatically. In January of 2019, my family and I are going to be packing up and heading back to the good old US of A. My day job, our martial arts school, even our photography business will all be left behind. And we're going to be starting a new life virtually from scratch. We're literally selling our house in Germany and leaving everything behind. You probably can't imagine how scary that is for my family and I. All 4 of our kids were born here in Germany, and we've lived here for over 15 years when it's all over. If you want some perspective, my wife and I hit our 16-year anniversary just last year. So you can imagine that this, for us, is really, really huge. Now, although we're planning on having more than enough savings to go a full year without any income, I wanted to share with you on this episode a business that we started just last week and find out if you'd be interested in following our journey. So, before I tell you what we're going to be doing, let me tell you exactly what I was looking for before we got started. Now, as we moved back to the States, we had a few requirements that absolutely had to be met. First and foremost, my wife and I are entrepreneurs at heart, and we don't plan on working for anyone else ever again. So that was really requirement number 1. Requirement number 2 was that I needed a business that I could work on from home for most, if not all, of the year. Requirement 3 was that the business had to be simple, and it had to be able to pull in $4,000 a month profit within 1 year. Finally, requirement number 4 was that the business had to be executable for less than a $4,000 investment. That was all we're willing to risk on a new business venture at this time, so $4,000, 1 year to bring in $4,000 a month profit, I feel like that's ambitious, but it's definitely doable. So I'm not sure how that sounds to you, but to me, it sounds like an amazing challenge and one that I am absolutely ready to tackle. So, what do you think I decided to do? My family and I researched all kinds of ideas that we could try to run, but we had a lot of unique limitations. First and foremost being that we don't currently reside in the United States. That means virtually anything you have to do in person is out. Plus we keep really strange hours, and so making phone calls and calling all over the place was really out of the question as well. Next, we have some serious time issues. Remember, we already have several businesses here, and we have 4 kids that we homeschool. On top of that, I'm out of the house by 5:30 a.m. every day, and I don't usually get home until 12 or 13 hours later. Yeah, every day. We're not exactly oozing free time here. So one thing that we all have to remember, though, is that the road to failure is absolutely lined with excuses. Our excuses can define us, and if we're not willing to put in the work, I promise you, you won't be reaping any rewards, at least in this life. So, in the end, what we decided to do was start an e-commerce business, which will primarily operate using Amazon's Fulfilled by Amazon program. This met all of the requirements I outlined earlier, and it has amazing scalability and potential. Basically, this is where you buy items from distributors and you ship these items to Amazon's warehouse, and then Amazon sends them to customers on your behalf. While it might sound complicated, it's actually quite a simple business model, and it takes more elbow grease than it does smarts and know-how. For our family, there were a lot of benefits to this model, but I'm going to put out a whole episode on why we chose it later on. Through the process of figuring out what business to start, it dawned on me that I was going through a lot of the same things I've been advising you on the last few months. So I got the idea of chronicling my journey for you here on the podcast. All right, so the next few weeks, I'm going to be going through the process of registering a business, trademarking, getting reseller certificates, dealing with suppliers, and all kinds of other crazy, nitty-gritty details. What I want to do is put out weekly episodes where I break down what I'm going through with my new startup. I'll let you know what I invest in, how my investments are working out, and most importantly, where I stand on that road to $4,000 a month profit. Through the process, you'll have the chance to ask me questions, share my successes and my frustrations, and watch me do everything I can to hit my goal. Hopefully, when it's all over, we can all celebrate together. So, if this sounds like something you're interested in following along with, email me at mark@juniormoneymakers.com and let me know that you're listening. In the meantime, I'll have a new episode out this Wednesday and Friday of this week. I can't wait to hear from everybody, but until then, remember, dream big and change the world. Last night at dinner, I knew I shouldn't have had the seafood. I've been feeling a little eel ever since. The jokes just don't get any better.